Chill.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to VFX and Chill. VFX and Chill is a show where we like to break down visual effects from movies and TV shows and then try to put them back together again. You are joining us today on our Season 5 premiere, and I am here, as always, with my good buddy, Seth Worley. Seth, how are you doing today?
Hey, buddy, I missed you.
I was wrong right off the thing.
I missed
you. How you doing? It's so good to see you. I've missed you as well.
I haven't
Goodness gracious.
You
it's so good to be back.
Except for every single day in between the end of the season and this season. You know what? I think we should actually start next break we take. We should institute a rule where we are not allowed to speak to each other or interact in any way.
That sounds like an amazing idea. Right off the top, I'm going to throw out some business and maybe a request from all you wonderful viewers. We are broadcasting for the very first time from our VFX and Chill new YouTube channel. So hopefully, if you've gotten the word from some of our social channels and are watching us there, thank you so much and welcome. If you are watching in a traditional place like the Maxon channel, Maxon Training Team, or the Red Giant page, we would love if you would come join us over here on the VFX and Chill channel. If you're watching this on Red Giant, there should be a link right in the top of the description that'll take you right over to this streaming, and we promise we won't be too exciting for the next minute and a half while you switch over there or whatever. It shouldn't take you a minute and a half. YouTube is fast, right? So, yeah.
Hosh, I've got a weird situation. Do you think you can cover real quick while I run outside real quick and find out why this strange person is taking photos of my house?
Perfect.
There was a police officer here, too. I'll be right back. This is a weird thing I was not expecting. All right.
Wow.
Here I go.
So, excellent. While we all hope that Seth stays safe in this unraveling mystery right now, you may also be wondering about another missing person, Michael Zalapsky. Michael will be hopefully joining us soon. Michael's dedication to the show means that once again he is in an airport for the 20th time during the run of the show. But as soon as he has any kind of stable internet in the airport, he is going to start broadcasting to us. And so I'm looking forward to that. You may, if you're brand new to this YouTube channel, hopefully you've seen our exciting what to expect when you're expecting our new YouTube channel, which takes you a little bit around some of the things that you can see here. But we wanted one place that you could kind of have all of the flavor of VFX and Chill in one location. If you happen to be watching this stream on Action Movie Kids or Action Movie Dad, I just wanted to say hi. I love you all and miss you, and would love if you would come over to the VFX and Chill channel because we can hang out every week and talk about visual effects. Also, you may have just seen that a drop dropped, Seth.
Sorry, what did I miss?
Not much.
Okay, has that happened a lot since I've been gone?
It was actually the very first time while you were gone. So
I'll tell you what.
Which is interesting because you usually have to run a very complicated board, which we showed off at the very end of last season, a Stream Deck and OBS setup that is the most complex thing I've ever seen in my life.
If you want to see more of that, that's in our Behind the Scenes of Germany episode, which is on our new channel now. You can find it Behind the Scenes of our Germany show. But Hashi, you're right. That involved my fingies doing work. And this time, my fingies were outside talking to the woman taking photos of my house, which turns out it's fine. It's something else. I'm going to be as cryptic as I can. It was like one too many pictures to where I was like, something's happening. That's why I had to go out. All that to say, yes, I made a little, you know what, let's explain it to the audience this way. The way we know best, which is with drops. Hashi, what the hell did that mean?
What that meant, while we integrate our lovely LAX host into the show, if we can, is that our drops this season are now being run by content-aware Phil. He did not have enough to do around here. And so we are asking him to run the board, which means that, Seth, even if you weren't, focusing right when I happen to say something like CC ball action.
CC ball action.
Oh my God, it's happening. What? What the hell? Just kidding.
Well,
I expected it.
Yeah, content-aware Phil takes care of that. So it means that our drops are automated. We're the most advanced OBS live YouTube live stream in the world.
And how might you ask?
Have you here?
Where did this automation system come from to be able to do this? Well, we created it.
We created it.
That's right, Frakes. All that to say, oh my God, is he here? I think we have a special guest with us.
I hinted too subtly earlier.
Oh, wait a minute.
Where'd he go? Michael PNG is here with us.
Wait, hang on.
Watch this. Okay. Temporary PNG Michael is going to transform amazingly into Michael at an airport. Michael, it is so good to see you. How are you doing?
What the hell are you doing, Michael?
Pretty good. My voice is a little rough from talking to people all day, every day, but I'm here and I'm happy.
Understandable.
Michael, give us your exact specific coordinates and destination.
I am currently in the Denver airport. We just finished doing a bunch of presentations at SIGGRAPH, at the Maxon booth, and at the Dell booth, and had a good time. And I'm now flying back to Tennessee.
If you, the viewer at home, are in the Denver airport, you're home and you live there right now, if you can find Michael before the broadcast is over and give him a contactless greeting, a very polite, no contact greeting because COVID, and you'll win something that Michael will give you from his backpack. Hopefully.
Incredible.
Yeah. Our legal team is like emailing us right now. Like, you can't give them things out of his backpack.
You can have this hat from Substance Days.
It's a cool hat.
Look at that. Amazing. I'm just looking over at our VFX and Chill chat and want to welcome a lot of our favorites and classics here. We have Jason Murphy and Michael Pollack, Frigby Chillweather, Nick Smith, and also...
What? Okay, so it's
and
a
also
little...
Jamie's here.
Jamie?
Jamie!
This is... we're in a new frontier here. Just so you know... The chat, the drops don't always work exactly as planned, which is kind of the fun part. We've been like working like all week, and having it running while we're working, and it'll just we'll forget that they happen, and they'll pop up and surprise us. So there's going to be an element of that.
There is. It turns out that both of us say sorry a lot, and so
it's the most used one. It keeps popping up when we forget. It's so good to see all of you in the chat. Just, if Hashi didn't mention it, in case Hashi didn't mention it while I was outside talking to the woman photographing my house, still doing it, I would encourage you to, wherever you're watching this, make sure that place you're watching it is our new YouTube channel at youtube.com/@VFXandChill. And so go ahead and just subscribe. Just subscribe to it. It's like, well, why not?
Absolutely.
What are you going to do?
That would be great. Yeah. Who is watching it from wherever, come on over here to the VFX and Chill channel. It's a fun place. And also it's great because, aside from the one time, I promise the one time that you'll get 148 notifications all at once.
The only time. We don't have any more libraries of shows.
No more of that. So thank you very much. I think it was J.C. Tecklenburg who pointed it out first, and a couple other people screen shared that they got a big VFX and Chill. Look at it's really just a representation of all the lovely hours of content that we have made. But thank you very much for joining us here, and we invite more of you and any of your friends. Michael,
get all
Seth,
your friends right now. Gosh, you're talking so quietly and calmly. It's affecting my energy.
Oh man, I'm too out of practice from my hey everybody. voice.
The video we posted a couple weeks ago, the what to expect when you're expecting our YouTube channel.
Oh yes.
I remember when we were recording it, we did it twice because what? Okay.
We did it.
It's not wrong. There are complete tentacles in this story. I remember we stopped at the second part of it and you were like, can we do that again? Because I didn't, it's like the thing that happens with us when we're recording tutorials all the time is that we'll start at an energy and we're like, I'm going to be chill this time. And by the end of it, we're like full Andrew Kramer meets like local weatherman energy. And we had to start over. And we can't do that on live shows, so it's interesting to watch it happen in real time. Let's just gradually build.
Incredible. Well, now that all three of us are here, I thought it would be nice to just do a little bit of general catch-up about what we've been up to in this mid-season break.
Well, Hashi, when you said the General Ketchup, did you suddenly remember we forgot to make the drop for General Ketchup?
Oh no, I remember
Michael,
many times. It was a joke never quite worth the effort, which is something for this.
I think your last idea was, well, Michael, real quick, you did this. Was that to the General or was that to leave? Oh, the General. Thank you for respecting the uniform. Your last idea, Hashi, I liked, which was General Grievous, but with ketchup, bottles instead of lightsabers.
Yes.
So the ketchup spewing everywhere, which I still want that.
He'd be going by General Ketchup and insist that he was General Ketchup, but it would be so clearly General Grievous. And
do we? Oh yeah, a T-shirt, like a Heinz T-shirt too. We're gonna put it. Okay, now I kind of want to spend the whole episode doing that. Is there a reason we need to stay on topic, or could we just? I
honestly don't know why we would need to stay on topic. It's never stopped us before.
It never has. So General Ketchup, what all did we do over the break? I forgot our list. We have a list, don't we?
We have a list. Oh, that's amazing. We wrote stuff down. Let's see. I'm going to see if I pulled up, if I have a... I'm going over to our list. I'm going to try to make it not just pop. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen right now. I always am... No.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure while I was sorting through all these digital papers that I have here to make sure that I had... was going to our list.
I don't know where our list is. The list that I just found includes Children of the Patch, Children of the Corn, but with Cabbage Patch Kids. Chris Pine Glover. Replace Crispin Glover with Chris Pine. I think this is... Chris Pine. It's true, we do. I feel like this is my list of just random... what even is this? This isn't like shot ideas for the show. There's no way we can... There's nothing to do with any of these ideas.
There honestly isn't.
There honestly isn't.
But yes. So anyway, wow, I'm watching our delayed stream, so I got to see a double Chris Pine.
Oh, why didn't that happen? Double Chris Pine?
Did I not pronounce it clearly enough?
Frisbee Chillweather says, surely it should be Colonel Mustard instead of General Ketchup.
Yeah, did we touch on that before?
No, I believe that it was related. We were, so it was basically
Justin Leduc says, I missed the first 15 minutes, but y'all in a different setup makes it feel very observant and worthy of the #1 fan title.
Well, Justin, if you're just catching up...
Now, Justin, are you watching from the VFX and Chill channel? Because maybe I'm just not caught up, but I'm missing that comment. So
he's on the wrong chat.
Same message to anybody out there who is watching. We have a new YouTube channel, VFX and Chill, and would love you to watch the stream and get all of the exciting chat over there because it'll be fun. But yeah.
I am struggling to find our list. Do you have the list?
Oh, it's in the chat of our shot ideas. We mentioned we wanted to talk a little bit about the channel. Talk about a few random things that we did over the break. One thing that I did over the break was I used some trap code form to make some fake drone shows of Shrek and
show those
Trogdor, and people really, really liked them.
I did too. You want to show those off on the on your screen? We can go to your screen.
Oh, yeah. Let me.
And that's the whole point of General Ketchup.
Let me find where on earth I might have saved them. But is there any other kind of news like anything that fans of the show, fans of Seth Worley might be interested to know in case they are don't have their ear to the ground?
Deadpool and Wolverine came out, and I still don't care.
Deadpool and Wolverine came out, and I still haven't seen it, but I want to.
But also, I watched a movie called
something
Thelma. There's a movie called Thelma, which, no joke, everybody, is maybe the greatest film I've ever seen in my life. Find it, starring June Squibb. It's absolutely wonderful and absolutely hilarious. Go watch that as soon as you can. Frigby. So Frigby had to remind me what Hashi was trying to lead up to, and I completely forgot. Yeah, my little movie got into TIFF. Why don't I have an image for that?
What?
I forgot to tell you. No, you knew. Yeah, man. Hang on. Where is it? Bing bong. Pulling this up. And can we see that? Is that full screen? So
excellent. That's full screen. And look at that official selection, Toronto International Film Festival.
We're very excited. It's very, very exciting. I'm very, very.
It's so exciting.
I'm grateful for getting to be part of it. It's a huge honor, and I'm just stoked. This is a dream come true in 1,000 different ways, and I'm very grateful to our team who made this movie freaking happen. I can't wait for everybody to see it. If you happen to go to Toronto, go see it and watch it. If you don't, and your next question is probably, where can I see it? Well, Toronto. Toronto is where you can see it right now.
And then it's up to Big Hollywood.
Big Hollywood. That's yep. So what else? What other news?
So I have no idea what I did with those drone things.
Well, you posted them on TikTok is what you did.
I guess I could pull up TikTok, huh?
You could.
That'll work well.
Well, in the meantime, how about while you pull that up, I'll vamp with a little bit of something, which is I made another script this over the break that I had a lot of fun with. Let me see.
Another feature film script.
No, I wish. And so do my reps. They wish that too. But instead, I spent my time doing dumb stuff. So here, real quick, let me just make a new solid. I'll let it be green. Why not? Solid. And I'll make some text that's like text. And
I like it. It's coming together.
Thank you. I will scale this up. Why not on this? Actually, let's say on this solid. Let's actually make it black, and then let's apply a ramp to it. Universe gradient ramp. And I'm going to pick a random preset. Like my favorite one, which is a duotone. There's a fun one. And now, okay, so I made this little script called Colorly. And that is because sometimes you're like, oh, I'm making some, you're working with color palettes, or you want to try out various, varieties of color palettes, or what have you. So, here, I want to try out a bunch of different colors, but I don't want to go through and edit the individual color parameters for every single item. So this little script called Colorly lets me choose from a variety of color palettes that I can then hit this dice button and it will shuffle them around. And if I find a color that I like say I like the text color, I'm going to click the lock checkbox, and now that will stay blue while I shuffle around the other colors. Maybe I even go to another, like, let's say I like I had one and then I accidentally hit it shuffle again, but you get the idea. So then I'll just apply it, and it applies it, and there you go. And I can, it's made for like just
so that's
mass
not like an
editing.
adjustment layer run in Colorama. It looks in that window like it's pulling every property from your After Effects layers that have colors on them and making them dynamic.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
And if the layer is solid white or solid black, it will uncheck it, like to where it won't affect it. It's been actually wildly useful. So that was a fun script that I made over the summer. Hash, what about you?
What about me? I made. I've actually wanted to do this with trap code for the longest time, and we finally came into a little bit of free time, where I wanted to make these little. People have probably seen these cool drone shows. Oops, why my RAM isn't loading up a lot of this. But I made this joke video to post saying that Disney, meaning the Walt Disney Company's drone show, was hacked to show Shrek.
I love
Now,
that your first batch of comments were people like insisting that, no, it's because Disney brought Shrek, which is maybe the funniest thing I'd ever heard. Not that Disney bought DreamWorks, but Disney bought Shrek. Like, no, we want Shrek.
Yeah,
we're here for the green
I
one.
went too subtle somehow with my with my TikTok humor. Like most people are just like, no, Disney owns Shrek. You people, it wasn't hacked. What's going on? And so then I tried to go one step further with this one. Maybe I wonder if let me see if I can share some sound.
Yeah, it was coming through.
From this, just actually play it.
Your sound was
No
coming.
limits to how far you can go when you have dreams like Trapdoor strikes again.
Okay, here's the thing. That legitimately gets me pumped up. Like, not even, like, joking aside, that's the most exciting drone show I've ever seen in my life.
Anyway,
Like, I would go nuts if that actually happened. It's so good.
It's so fun. And honestly, I've been seeing these real drone shows and I keep on thinking, oh man, that would be such an easy effect to do. And it turns out it really is quite an easy effect to do if you're working with Trapcode form. So that's what I did.
That was very cool. If you want, him to dive in more into that, did you make a behind the scenes thing that you posted about it, or?
I'm kind of working on it.
Cool. Then that's to come. If you really want to know how he did it, that's to come. We don't really have time to dive into it today.
It's to come. One of the cool things about this new channel is that if we decide to make something slightly shorter or at a different schedule or whatever, we can throw it here and it'll be in the mix with VFX and Chill stuff and not too shuffled up with everyone trying to do all the legitimate teaching and learning over there.
Yeah.
So that should be really exciting.
One other thing, real quick, that I want to show off that we did over the summer. We talked about this, that Maxon Studio, which you all have, if you have Maxon 1, which you do, of course, dummies. If you just go to Maxon Studio and under the window here, and the panel comes up, and there's a little tab for VFX and Chill. And we talked about this before. We're putting presets or capsules in here is what they're called. And capsules are very, very cool So here, I'm going to open up Hashi's smoke one. I'm going to add that to the to my comp here. So I've got a smoky
Excellent.
logo.
Wait a second. It added it to the comp, so it's not a template.
Correct. It added to the comp. And if I go to this little edit, I can adjust the smoke amount here. I can change the direction of the smoke. And if I want to, I can go in here and just mess around with the actual controls in the in here, like in the actual comp itself. Very cool. And I've got my Dino shader that I've been using a whole bunch on stuff that you can apply into comps here. So basically, if you're not paying attention to all this, then you're not paying attention, and that's your fault. I don't know what I was saying here. If you're not using Maxon Studio, you're a big dummy and need to change.
You should absolutely, because Seth, as you can see right there, when you apply one of these cool capsules to your project file, you're basically throwing it into whatever comp you had at its dimensions, but it's creating the After Effects layers and things all linked up right next to it. So you still have an After Effects project that is completely editable after you've done that. So it's super cool. In fact, I am working on this one over here. In case you need tickets to the drone show,
Always.
you can dive into here, and we could say something like, what should we say? We'll say season 5, and then this capsule will take that little bit and create a fun. Maybe I need to see it in full resolution to make sure you're getting it. Yeah, there we go.
Season 5.
Drone show. Season 5.
On that note, go ahead.
By the way, these are all just After Effects layers. There's no images or anything in here. It is all shape layers and solids and VFX reflection working in conjunction with these little fake drones. And while I was working on a Trapcode Form version of this capsule, I couldn't resist, and so this one is actually made with CC ball action.
Hit it.
CC ball action.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. We're here on our brand new channel, which is at youtube.com/VFX and Chill. Go, for the love of God, and subscribe to it. Michael, how you doing in the airport? Anybody come up and talk to you yet?
I'm doing good. No one has come to claim their pride. No one has come to claim their prize yet. But during the break, there was some fun comments in the chat. Justin Leduc says that while the drone shows are kind of cool, they are a little slow, and that they drag on.
Incredible.
What's funny is we do have a Leduc drop that's supposed to be automated, but the thing does not recognize your name, Justin. Justin Leduc. See, it's
Justin Leduc.
Justin Leduc.
See,
we don't know what it thinks we're supposed to pronounce it like.
I'll tell you what it thinks we're saying, but I have to go to the non-Michael screen because that's where it exists. But okay. Justin Leduc. Whoa! I got it to work. Justin Leduc.
Wow. It's a season 5 miracle.
It's a season 5 miracle. Michael, come back. You're back.
Does this mean we could have instant closed captioning for our hard of hearing audience members?
I could. I can get that working. It's just not formatted. I don't have the fonts right yet. I got to get that, and then we'll be good. Also, if you're just joining us, just a reminder. Anyway, Hosh, what should we do now?
Well, I think there are a couple things we could do now. We were talking about General Ketchup, who, mortal enemies of Colonel Mustard.
Mortal enemies.
And,
they're not working. They're not working together.
They're not working together. Well, not at first. Don't spoil it.
Excellent. All right.
I mean, they do relish the challenge.
Okay.
My
See, here's the
goodness.
thing. This one.
Damn it, Michael.
Damn it, Michael. Damn it, Michael. I needed to pick up on puns. I needed to read when you say something terrible and then respond to you.
It would be so easy to program. All you need to do is type in every conceivable pun. And
it is funny. If you look at
that.
like our list, our spreadsheet, it's like I made a spreadsheet that says, here's all the drops and here's all the phrases that will trigger them. And they're all like, each of them have like one phrase or word, but then Consensual Star Wars is like a list of just every possibly raunchy sounding thing you could ever have. It's the funniest list ever.
Amazing.
And we'll touch on it at some point. Anyway.
Seth, the thing I love about you is that that you will make graphically beautiful spreadsheets to communicate information just to the two of us, not even like legit for work to be printed or seen by anybody else. And it's a real.
If you think those are sexy, you should see what I make just for myself. It's the word sex not in the Consensual Star Wars list. That's a huge oversight.
Well, no, because then it would imply that that's what that's about, and currently we have plausible deniability.
Correct. It's about Star Wars.
Also, regarding that storyline about General Mustard or General Ketchup and Colonel Mustard, DXYNER from the chat says that they may or may not form an alliance.
Damn it, Michael! I can still manually trigger them.
That is amazing. Well, yeah. These puns are, all fun and good, but yeah, we do need to make sure that we're not saying anything too crazy offensive just to get the AI to make the drops drop.
We get desperate at one point and just start saying terrible things. Hey, listen, are we jumping to the movie of the week, Hosh, or what do you think?
Let's jump to the movie of the week.
So here's the deal. Guys, we've talked about this before on the show, but a little movie by the name of Twisties came out over the summer, and we want to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Everybody here saw Twisters based on the box office, of course. And we thank you all for supporting movie theaters. The movie, by the way, that has a line, and this is a direct quote. A man is running down the street amidst a tornado and yells, "We got to get everybody into the movie theater." And why that line is not in the trailer, I do not understand. Like, it should be on the poster. It should be everywhere. The poster should just be his face, blown up, like noisy, grainy, because it's not meant to be that huge, yelling, "We got to get everyone into the theater," hyphen this guy, Twisters.
My goodness. There's no way that wasn't considered. What the heck?
I know. It's a very fun movie.
Someone dropped the ball.
Now, I don't want to get us flagged, so I'm just kind of cruising through here, but I do want to talk about, there's a couple shots in here that I personally think, like this one especially, knocked my friggin' socks off. I can't get over the shot.
Wow. So good. It looks so good. It looks like every real tornado video I've seen.
Yes.
So fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing like glamorously cinematic about it. It's just, it looks like,
and it
filming
holds
out
for
there
a
like,
while. There's just so many layers.
So many of the visual effects shots of this movie didn't look like something cinematic and awesome. It just looked like, oh, holy crap, there's real tornadoes. except for that one where it goes in the factory area, and I was like, no, you ruined it. But it was a really cool shot, so I don't blame them for doing it. But yeah, most of the shots were like just like this. Like it looked for all the world like a tornado.
Yeah, it's so good. Like Twister and Twisters, they're movies about perhaps the only cool thing about the South, which is we get these big freaking spinning funnels that happen and destroy everything every now and then. And this movie captured it so freaking well. There's another shot in the same sequence that I think is in this trailer. Where is it? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's in the other one. Hosh, we were talking about it, right? It was the wide shot that's like...
Oh, yeah. I do not remember exactly where in the...
I'm giving away the ghost here, but there's another awesome thing that happens in it. But, oh, well, I'll find it. There's a big wide shot that happens that's incredibly cool that's in the same sequence. But there's also a little something we like to call Fire-nado. Oh, before Fire-nado, I just want to mention, I love this sequence in the movie, too. Actually, this movie's not just fun. There's like a couple of sequences that I think are just legit Spielberg-y great. Like this sequence in the pool, without spoiling anything. But with spoiling anything, look at this freaking Fire-nado.
Whoa.
So I was thinking, this looks like something we could try to do. And
That
by
totally
try to
looks
do,
like something we could try.
I'm getting ahead of us, by the way, too, because I know that wrong one. We have tried before to do tornadoes. Tornadoes are kind of our white whale, are they not, Hosh?
They really are, right? So if the past has taught us anything, it's that we will go in confidently, like we can tackle these tornadoes, whatever, and then we'll realize that these tornadoes are actually a force of nature, not meant to be reckoned with. And I don't know. That's what I think. But never stopped us from trying before.
So we gotta do this. We gotta figure this out. Now,
all right.
First, before you dive too far into it, Darren Frankovitz calls out chicken and waffles as something else good from the South.
Okay.
Justin the Duke says, "Does Glenn Powell ever break the fourth wall by saying, 'Please God Almighty, make me an A-lister'?" And someone is asking, "Does the phrase 'Do you catch my drift' is that ever said in the movie?" And then Superstar Mario Plush Films says, "Hello."
Oh, hello, Superstar Mario Plus Films. And Justin,
hello,
no.
Darren. Wonderful to have you in the chat. And yes, that does actually sound very delicious. In addition to the tornadoes, food.
Darren
I guess
always
maybe
sounds delicious. You can't help it.
Can help.
Okay, so here's the deal. We want to try to make a tornado, which we've tried before. With Matt results, and so we're gonna try again this time, but then we also want to try and I want to see a fire tornado, and I think I have to assume the way to do this, and maybe even the way to do the plane tornado on the planes, is with pyro.
You have a lot of control over it in Cinema 4D, especially if you use field forces in connection with it. Because field force is a great way to get you full control over your pyrosid.
Well,
correct.
Heck, I think that we should try it out then. Shall we?
You're ready to go.
I am ready to go. I'm here in Cinema 4D. I have a little plane here, and I have a truck.
That's a truck.
I figure that
not a plane.
I'll just grab this plane and this truck, and I'm going to go to the simulation tags and throw a collider tag on them because I'm going to want them to, get to be part of all of this action and adventuring. For some reason, the center of my truck object is way over there. So let's quickly do something boring. Let's go to the mesh. Oh, is it not selected? Whoops. What's going on here? Mesh. Goodness, you leave this program for a teeny while and forget where everything is. I'm going to put that back in the middle. I think I deleted my tag accidentally. All right. So I've got a plane and a truck here. Not an airplane, but a plane. And all I'm going to try, just real quick, is I'm really curious if I just were to create a cylinder, something like that. Actually, let me leave that in the center and let's move the truck out to the side. And then on this cylinder, I'm going to have it just slightly above the ground right here. And I'm going
done.
to...
You did it.
We're done. Cylinder. Though I actually do think that we'll be able to do something kind of quick. I'm going to go up to my cylinder and say simulation tags, pyro emitter. Right there. Now, pyro, we did have a really cool episode on that. But basically, it's our really cool fire sim that is integrated into all of these, the physics dynamics in Cinema 4D now. So if I click on the tag itself, there are a bunch of properties here. Fire is made out of a handful of things that we are simulating. There's temperature and there's density of what is being created by the simulation. For a tornado, I actually don't really think that I need it to contribute to the temperature. I just want there to be some density of the object. So if I press play right now, what you should see is this whole cylinder got covered in smoke like that. So check that out. Pretty cool. Just for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to, I made this world a little bit big. So I'm going to bring this down to here, and I'm going to scale down my truck a little bit and bring it over here. There we go. And I'm going to press play again, and you'll see that this cylinder is emitting this smoke here that is actually kind of sitting there and acting like that. So this smoke isn't doing a whole lot all by itself, but because this is a whole new simulation engine, I could go over and say, what if I add something like I'll do it the way Michael mentioned. Let's go into here and say force, field force. Field force is a pretty cool object right here. You can see it's just this little cage, and there's not a whole lot going on with it, but I'm going to make it kind of zoom around this area. This is actually just a previewer of vector forces available in my simulation scene. And let's go ahead and add I gotta disable all these notifications that are popping up. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Quiet, you. Actually, I don't even know how do I say quiet? I thought I knew this program better. Oh, well.
Oh, hang on. So it appears, Tashi, you've been talking for a long time. Should we allow you? Let's allow you to continue. This is just a little automation that's been set up just to protect us.
Thank you.
Continue.
All right. So back to this. Let me actually do the most simple version. Let me just clear this all out for just a second. Really, what I wanted to show is that you could add a cylinder like this, make it a little bit taller, and then say simulation tags, pyro emitter. I'm going to uncheck the temperature because I really just want the clouds coming off of it, no fire. And I'm going to go to simulate forces and add a rotation force. And right when I press play, you'll see that it's a different simulation than before because there is this rotation force that is going to try to push all of the smoke into a circle like that, which is pretty cool. But instead of in this direction, I actually want this rotation object, which isn't visible or anything, it's just here. I'm rotating it 90 degrees, so if I press play now, what you'll see is that rotation force is giving Pyro a cool bit of dynamic spin. So that's fun. Let me make the simulation a little bit longer. Let's try maybe 250 frames worth. And let's take the rotation and we'll make the speed even faster. And we'll tell it to be an aerodynamics wind. Let me just press play again. And now you can see.
Hey.
Look at this wildness.
Oh my God, it's so close. Oh my God, if you just reverse gravity, holy hell.
Why do we have to cut these things so damn close?
What? I don't know how that happened, but okay. Oh, I said so close. That's why.
Why do we have to cut these things so damn close?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Michael. Marty.
I'm going to close my other programs just so I can give cinema all of my attention. But yeah, look at this already. Like this is so much more promising than some of the things that we've tried before, which is really cool. I'm going to delete that rotation object and go back to just the cylinder here. And I'm going to try something that I think might be interesting. I'm going to go...
I'm going to get ahead of you real quick before you say this. I want to make sure that we don't forget. Darren said, "Did you see his comment about deformers? You can use deformers on cached Pyro." Which I think is very smart, and I don't know why we hadn't thought of that. Anyway, sorry, continue.
That's brilliant. This is why I love working with geniuses. I've got my Pyro object. I just want to kind of experiment with some of the things that you could do. Like, for example, you could create a helix, one that is oriented like this, and you could say it's maybe, this tall, and the start radius could be smaller, and the end rotation could be higher than it is. So now I've got this helix of a shape, and the helix doesn't need to do anything actually because it's just this little vector over here. But if I combine that with a field force, look at this. I can go to my field force and say that in the object, one of the things I want to be influencing the field is this helix. Now watch this. If I go to the field force object right here, if you zoom in over here, you can see these little dots right here. I'm going to go to the object properties where it says velocity type. I want this to add to the velocity. So if I turn up the amount, you'll start to see these cool little vectors. And you may notice that this little vector field is influenced by the helix that we just drew. So watch this. As I move it through here, you can sort of see those vectors get stronger at the top and they're less toward the bottom right now. And if you make the field force box, which is really just to help you preview all these vectors, I can make the box bigger. And then if I go to its display settings, I can go say how many of the vectors do I want to show off. And here, this is a little bit, this is a lot, I guess, to see, but you can do any kind of preview to kind of show how things are being affected. Now, I actually don't want the highest wind speed to be at the top. I actually want more wind speed at the bottom and slower at the top. So I'm going to go to Object here, click on my on this helix, and maybe say in its properties here, under maybe remapping. Wait, no, what do I want to do? I kind of want to say for the spline layer here, if I turn down the range end amount, it'll distribute more speed through the whole thing like that. And let me just hide this for a moment so we don't have to see those two shapes, but I'll press play on my Pyro, and let's see what happens now. Oh, that's fun.
That's amazing.
That's exciting. One thing that's happening that you'd mentioned, Seth, it's clear that the simulation kind of wants to flow down, like it's a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
So if I go to the pyro output object, it's an object in the object menu, but also if you were used to just going to your project settings over here, if you went to your scene settings,
Yeah.
there's also a tab in here under simulation called pyro.
Yeah.
And this object is really just a shortcut to that. But we found that it was easier, since you'll be modifying the properties all the time, it's nice to have it right here. So in this example, the buoyancy is pushing things down. So if I turn the density buoyancy back upward, I think that will make it less heavy. I might be wrong on my direction at first, and then I need to re-guess. Oh wait, am I making it heavier?
Yeah.
You can
looks
actually
like you did.
dynamically check this out. Okay.
That's pretty fun. It's
So
still fun
that,
to watch.
so this is really fun if you need a cool,
Rocket blast.
yeah, look at that. You know what? I think scale-wise, I am wrong on this at the moment, but let's see if it were closer to a real scale. I'll leave the density high for a second to show that you could use Pyro to do a cool simulation like this. Look at all this. It's going to go down here, a little bit that shoots out under the car there.
That is so cool.
You made that. You created that.
We created it.
We created it.
Well, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
All right. So so one thing that we could do, I guess I'll go back to my Pyro output and reverse what I was doing with the density here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. Now look at this. Now it's a little bit not enough, and it wants to flow up really high. So I'm going to try to figure out a negative value that is right somewhere around here. That looks kind of cool. I feel like my helix needs to be wider at the bottom here. Not bad. This is we're getting somewhere with this. I think this is pretty cool.
Absolutely. I think your scale now is like the truck's too big now, obviously. Okay. But
The truck is too big. But let's try messing with this and figuring out what to do, because a twister is a very, very large scale, which is kind of scary, because it means that you have to when you're talking about a simulation, it means that you might comfortably get something fast simulated like this and you really like the shape, but then realize that really you've got to up the resolution of it somehow.
well, I honestly wonder if you can get it moving quicker, like more rapidly upward.
Mm-hmm.
You'll smooth out the tornado and be able to make it appear bigger. Like if its movement can get up quicker, but to where there's less of this dissipating, like a wispy smoke around the sides.
That's a good point. There are a handful of things that we can do to fight that.
Well, but the trick is that you don't want it moving too fast, because then you lose your scale. It's like you want it to get up there fast, but you want it to move slowly. I don't know how to do that.
That's a good point. Now, right now I'm kind of using this helix, which is interesting, but if you had just created a field force all by itself, delete this right here, I could click right here and add any number of types of forces, including a radial field.
Oh, what?
A radial field.
Oh, that's smart. Do that.
So if I'm previewing the vectors, look at that. Very similar to what I was doing before. So let's hide that for a second and see what kind of effect this has on it. Right now, it's set just to 42 as the amount. There's still some pretty quick dissipating, and I think that's coming from my Pyro object having too much buoyancy. Let's try just negative 15 from the beginning. Now I feel like some of it is hanging out for a little bit. There's a property inside Pyro called the vorticity strength. And what's kind of cool about it is if I turn it down, what you'll get is something a lot more like ink in water or something like that. You see that? How flowy and cohesive this version is. Or you can turn it up. Its default value is 5. And right here at level 5, this is the amount of kind of internal breakup that you see from it, which is kind of neat. The other thing that I could do is I could go to the density dissipation amount, and right now that's set at 7%. If I turn this value up, look, it'll eat away a lot of the smoke, and it'll make it dissipate into nothing a little bit faster. So I think that somewhere, as I turn down this amount, I start to get some, cool foggy smoke that is spinning around this.
Does it still feel like it's spinning
without
downward?
Getting too wide. Say that again?
It still feels like it's spinning downward.
It does feel like it's spinning downward. Let me see what could be contributing to that. If I turn the density of buoyancy even more negative, it really does feel like there's
some velocity happening going down. Michael, do you have something? No? Okay. You know what? Hey, real quick, we got to take a break. We'll be right back with more tornadoes after this.
Well, I hope that's not a hostage.
Welcome back. You're just tuning in. We're making twisters, making tornadoes, celebrating the coolest thing about the American South, the tornadoes that, well, that's kind of insensitive to people who've lost things, but come on, you saw twisters. It was incredible. Hey, Hashi.
Twisters.
What, buddy?
Yeah, we're talking about cinematic twisters. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save this for just a second, but I kind of want to start fresh because I don't remember what I've messed with. And I just want to start with the simplest of things that I could. Just a cylinder with the pyro tag right here. So one thing that we didn't show off is that right from the get-go, if you do add this with the default pyro settings, it's creating this really cool fire right here. And what if, just out of curiosity...
Yeah, just out of curiosity, just make that spin.
Yeah, what if we added a little rotation tag? Let's see, which is the... I just need to remember which way to rotate it. Okay, I need to rotate it this way, 90 degrees. Oh, look at that.
Josh, I'm curious what happens if you spin the emitter. Like if you spin instead of creating a field force, instead just creating the motion.
I'll turn off the rotation force, and so it'll just kind of be doing this. The next thing that I could do is I could then, on the cylinder itself, there's likely a faster way to do this, but I could go to programming tags, Espresso, and then say, see, I'll go to its coordinates, and I want it to spin around like this, right? So I'm going to grab the cylinder here, and I'm going to grab its rotation property right there, and I'm going to, let's add a formula node. Connect it to this, And I think that if I say t times 6, does it know that that's time? I don't remember what time. Is time capitalized time with a T? Or do I need to establish time? Fine, I'll establish time first.
Michael, you look like you have advice on time.
I'll add time. I'll connect that together.
I don't know why we're doing espresso, but it is a good way to do it.
What would be a better way to just make something just spin in place? Is there a
make 2 keyframes for it to spin. Set the interpolation to linear.
Well, this is our After Effects brains working.
Control over it. You can say continue after, and then the closer you move the keyframes together, the faster and faster it will go.
That's a good point.
But the espresso way is a fun way too.
That's fun. I totally wanted just a little bit of a controllable thing. All right. So yeah.
Darren is saying OMG taper plus twist cylinder keyframed. It's English. Is that
taper
like
plus?
Yeah. Is that you saying it's the British way of doing this? I don't think they have tornadoes over there.
Taper plus twist cylinder. All right. So Seth, here is what happens if we're rotating the object. Now I do know that the object motion does inform pyro in terms of like, watch this. It's interactive. Like if I take this, look.
Yeah, the rotation doesn't.
I can move it around. So it.
Oh, but it doesn't. There's no motion from velocity. Like there's no flinging it.
Mm-hmm. So I think what we might need more of is I think we do need a force in here to be actually doing it. Now there are a couple of different things that we could try. There was the field force way that we were doing before. Where we're, let's go to the field force and add the radial field back. Let's turn the add to velocity strength higher.
While you're doing that, Hashi, Nick Smith says that they rewatched that looping video episode when it was posted the other day, and these special edition episodes are pretty good.
Yes,
and those who want to catch it afterwards, the looping episode link is in the chat.
I real quick want to sing Hashi's praises here. So we obviously all of our classic episodes are on the YouTube channel now, and many of them, a lot of them, have special editions. Special edition. Well, that's not working. The point is, they have special editions that are where Hashi has basically taken dead spots. He's taken live episodes and made them feel like we knew what we were doing, and they feel like tight, compact episodes. Many of them are now half as long as they used to be. But I want to call out that looping episode, like Nick did.
Yeah, it's a fun short watch, and it's tight, so you can just get all the fun information right out of it.
And I hesitate to give it away, but I want to say there's a gag in it that's I love so much, and that if you're paying attention in another episode, they do connect. And it's that kind of attention to detail.
That's too much thought.
It's that kind of attention to detail that makes us lunatics and makes me love us.
It's the VFX and Chill promise and curse.
Is that we love you and we love you. Okay, that was meaningful. It wasn't. Okay.
So here I am. I'm back again at this radial field setup again.
I'm wondering, Hashi, if a second ago you had it, but I almost wonder if I want to see what it looked like. Like right when you put that field force on, it was doing something really interesting. But the timeline of your I want to say sequence or comp, but that's not what this is in cinema. But your project doesn't have enough frames. I want to see what it looks like after some more time has passed, like how it evens out.
All right. So let's see. So if I ran this for 300 frames. Let's see. I'm going to turn off my work plane. All right, so it continues to spin. It feels like there's somewhere right around 150 where the upward velocity of the fire is really driving it in an interesting way.
Did you have more smoke earlier
wonder,
or longer life on the smoke earlier when you first applied it?
There was. Let me see. I think the default values for both of these was 7. So let's go back to this. Let's go back to 7.
Now, as you watch this tornado develop, I want to mention that you can keep the fire turned on while you're working on stuff like this, and then after it's cached and everything, you can only use the density channel for your rendering. You don't have to catch the fire. So while you can have the fire working to give you that upward motion, you don't have to worry about it messing up the render, because in the render you can just say, hey, I just want the density channel, don't use any info from the temperature channel, and you're good.
Smart.
Very good call. So let me see. If we were to have the... So what would happen if the buoyancy density were higher? Does that...
And what happens if you turn up
make it so the smoke doesn't rise so fast comparatively?
What if you turn up the spin?
All right, let's turn up the spin. Right now we're adding 90 to velocity. Let's turn it all the way up to 200. I mean, this is pretty wild.
What if you make it taller? Maybe we're just working too small.
Let's see. Working too small. Okay, let's try. Go back to the beginning here, and we'll increase the size of this. Why don't we do this? Let me go say, let's add a little person right here so we can just imagine what we're doing. Now, most simulations, like Pyro, for example, is set up to do little simulations at this size. So because I'm blowing this up so much, just for now, I'm going to change my voxel size to 10 and just play this and see kind of what's happening with it.
Smart.
I would recommend never standing this close to a fire tornado. Yeah, so the thing that starts happening is there's some real dissipation because of the of all of the spinning. But I was curious
it's
if
interesting seeing how the patterns. Oh, that's smart. Seeing how the pattern, like, what patterns emerge. It's like friggin', Malcolm chaos theory, like talk, but like how like the patterns and iterations that kind of like how everything kind of settles. I still don't feel like we're seeing the shape that it will settle into. And it's hard because, you don't want to blow your computer
like
out.
that too. So I'm going to add this cylinder that doesn't have a top or bottom to it. I'm going to make it about this big, and it has a collider tag on it. I'm going to click on the cylinder itself, and just for the moment, I'll say, check this X-ray box. In fact, what might be nice is just to hide it altogether or add a display tag. But I want to see what would happen if
containing it?
There is a contain unit, basically. I want to give it some, space to flow out like this, but look at this. It gives us a cooler bottom there and a more interesting top. So let me just hide the cylinder again.
Nick Smith says to know if we could extrude some of the faces on the cylinder so that it's less symmetrical, and then add a rotation to the cylinder, if that would be useful at all.
To give the cylinder a little bit more definition to begin with, or something interesting on it. So the cylinder right now is still a not baked geometry, so I could add some more height segments to it, and a few more rotation segments to it, and then maybe I could throw in a displacer or something like that. This would be
I
one
like
way
that. I know when
Michael's
Michael's about to say something because I hear the announcement for a boarding flight. It's almost like, attention, the passengers in the airport. Michael Solapsky has something to say.
I was just going to say that there's a really cool workflow you can use with some of the capsules in the asset browser to randomly select polygons and then extrude them. procedurally, it's quite handy, but the way Hashi's going with it is also quite fun.
All right, I'm gonna turn up the global scale of
Oh my God,
the little
Hush, what if you made a
displacer on
tornado
here.
right now just by deforming a cylinder and rotating it and then applying like a sand texture to it or something?
I mean, honestly, what upsets me about that suggestion, Seth, is that let's see, if I were to go into here and let's say go to our, let me see if we have like a cotton texture or something like that. Let's just try this.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
So, you know, cotton, nylon, any kind of, you know.
Are you making a Wizard of Oz tornado?
I think that I am now.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the original Wizard of Oz used spinning cloth to do the tornado for their visual effects. Speaking of,
just like God.
For the first time in my life, I finally got to see the Wicked stage play. It was playing in Denver while I was here. I skipped dinner one night to go watch it, and it is amazing. And I'm very pleased.
It's worth a dinner skip.
Michael,
Amazing.
how do you feel about the fact that the movie, from what I understand, is that they're doing two parts and that they're basically doing all the fun stuff in one movie and then all the dark, sad stuff or whatever in the second movie?
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to see it and find out.
But you liked it? It was good? I've never seen it. I've only listened to it.
Highly recommend. If next time it's in Nashville, go see it. And I want to come see it because I want to see it again. so does my spouse.
Michael, you don't have to talk about this on the show if you don't want. Where are you headed back to from Denver? I don't remember where you are now.
Just about an hour north of Nashville still.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know if you were.
Scooched a little bit east, I think. A direction anyway.
Cool. Very cool. Oh my God. we did it.
Okay, it's a little frustrating how good this is already. Dang it.
And it has to wait for a pause. It's so funny. Like it'll have like if we're going, it'll like be like paragraphs later. I don't like that this is this looks like a stylized tornado we could have done in our VFX intro.
Let me show you. Look at how simple this geometry is. That's a little quick shortcut, NB. Let me see. I might turn up the number of rotation segments and maybe add some more height segments to know that there's a little bit more geometry actually happening in here within my cylinder.
I think you need to slow time down.
A again.
Either time or rotation. I don't know what.
Yeah, the time is a little bit going too much. You know what I could do over here is
you're still doing that?
Actually no, let's just manually quickly say let's do time times 2. Okay.
Oh, so I forgot to mention earlier, Darren Frankovitz suggested making a tornado, and it would be very appropriate in this moment to use a time effector in displacer mode to spin it.
Wait, okay. 1 second. I was just going to add some animation speed to my noise pattern here. A little bit like that, and I'm going to add some movement to it. Oops, that's way too fast. No. Okay. I want, let's see, -1. And let's go to my displacer object. I hate how good this looks comparatively.
Now, what happens if you emit some pyro from that?
That's a very good question. So
I still think it's going too slow. I'm too fast. You got to slow it down before you slow the computer down.
Let's see. Let's go to here. Let's say time divided by 4.
Especially because of how wide. Oh, there we go. Because of how wide you have. Like it's. This seems like
this looks like the
EF5
a monster.
Right now. You could elongate it. That's not on.
Which is more than I actually want. I'm going to try this. I'm going to go to the cylinder and bring it down a little bit more. I want it to be like one of the character tornadoes, not the hero humongous one. Oh, I don't know. What do y'all think? Should I be going for the humongous one?
If you go for humongous, it has to be really slow. It needs a lot more detail.
Let's put the taper and twist after the noise pattern, maybe. Let me see what that wants to do.
And make the cylinder even smaller, I think, or like thinner. Less girth.
All right, let's turn the radius down.
None of these words are on the list. I need to add them. I don't have to
Okay, curvature. Okay, now I'm going to turn my displacer down a little bit. Actually, I could turn the strength back up, and then I'm going to go to the noise pattern and make it a little bit smaller again now that my tornado is smaller. Okay. I feel like it was actually looking good as the bigger one, huh?
Yeah.
Let me just do a little undo hiking real quick back to around here. This was actually kind of fun. Let's save this. That's a good tip right there. Save this as a Silk Tornado.
Jesus, it says
I don't know why I'm calling it this. There we go. Okay, so now if we grabbed the cylinder and went to it and said simulation tags, pyro emitter, let's see, heavy scene detected. Let's see, I'm going to say no then. Thank you for the warning. Let me turn off the temperature. Let's just do density, and let's say that my pyro object output is going to be more like, I'm just turning up my voxel size so the resolution is a little bit less crazy to begin with. Let's go to my pyro tag, and I'm going to change the thickness down to 2 centimeters so it's not emitting as much.
Twist
and
that.
On the density setting, I'm going to turn down to like 4.
And then you have a twist effector happening, right? That's animated, or no?
Right now, it is twisting, but very slowly.
Is it twisting the pyro, or is it twisting the emitter, and then the pyro's coming after?
It should be twisting the whole emitter.
Head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
But I don't know if the pyro is having enough time to react to it at this speed.
I don't think the pyro would react to it. I'm curious if it... What I'm getting at is it happening before or after the emission?
I think that it is happening before the emission.
Yeah, I wonder if it was after the emission.
Let's see, what if I put in this rotation effect? Whoops, I have it going the opposite direction right now.
Nick, I would modify that, just a slight adjustment to twist this. I think, in the vein of assimilate this from Star Trek First Contact. Similar and amazing in badassery in terms of words. Something I'm
All right, let me turn off pyro for just a second. So this is how fast it's going in the project here. When I enable pyro, I'm trying to add this rotation tag that is trying to move these at a similar speed to it. Let's add some more frames so we can see what happens if I... Oh, you know what I should do is I should go to the density dissipation and turn that up a little bit so it's more like I just want a little bit. It's like on the surface of it. Oops, maybe a little bit more.
Will it slow down if you, like, how high is your polygon count, like on the fidelity of that cylinder? Like, should you make a?
So right now it's a good question. If I turn down, to 10 polygon and basically 100 polygons, this is sort of what it would do.
Oh, it looks like.
But I can turn this up, which will give me more definition to the shape to make it a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
Right now we're having it's the intersection issue that you're sort of seeing with the two. It is not very pretty. What if I hide the actual cylinder object? This is just the pyro right here. So maybe it's not enough. So maybe the density to begin with needs to be... Okay, add more than 2. Let's add 6, 8.
This is the kind of thing.
I feel like
this is the kind of like thing that
I
get when I'm doing in particular, where I can't figure out if I need to scale everything up or if I need to pull down all of my like velocities and speeds and things. It's like we're right in that, like I can't figure out and I end up living in this middle ground where I feel like I'm making this thing that is almost good enough looking, but it also feels incredibly small.
Mm-hmm.
And that somehow
it definitely does feel a little bit like that. Okay, I'm going to save and I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to close out and just start a whole new project and try, let's see. Do we think that, I feel like the cylinder is a decent starting point, but I'm curious
so,
but
you're tapering it? Or do you need, if you're pyroing, you don't need to taper it if you're pyroing, because the pyro is going to, because you don't want a tornado that's just like a freaking cone.
Exactly. Whoops. Pyro emitter right here, and let's turn off the temperature again.
Like I'd almost say,
okay,
you'd want to just like render out a bunch of different sizes of pyro, like rotating pyro cylinders, and like cache a whole bunch of them, and then bring them in, and bring in whichever one you wanted depending on the shot, and do a bunch of deforming to it to make it do the things you want it to do. Like, so it's not...
That actually sounds like a really nice idea. So what if we try that? So if we're on this simulation, for example, let's see see how this looks after a little bit. Oh, we need more frames again. I did less. Fewer. Okay, now we're getting interesting. It feels like the radius should be larger, maybe.
I mean, if you're making like an EF5, then yeah. Like, I guess you got to decide, what are we making right now? Are we making a big one or a small one?
That's a good point. Now, what if the radius were super small and we're counting on just the dissipation?
I kind of want to try and nail that, like, smaller scale, like iconic tornado that's in the second act of the movie, not the first, not the third. I mean,
so there comes this weird point where toward the end, it's losing a little bit of that. Let's see. What if I turn the buoyancy negative and it gives everything upward motion? Then it looks too much like smoke. So let's turn that back down to a lower number.
Turn to a low number.
What I do love is that you can just run.
Make the cylinder longer, I think.
All right. Let's do it. Let's go to the cylinder and say, hey, be taller. Oh, one thing that I kept on noticing when I was playing around with this before was that I actually liked the way it looked if I had, say a plane that was a collider here and a kind of smaller cylinder, smaller simulation that is just, let's start here. So just this little piece, but look at this. Like if I move this down and like,
oh, interesting.
It's kind of cool.
And that's just going up and down?
Mm-hmm.
That is really cool.
Right, but yeah, we'll go back to what you're saying. Longer cylinder above a plane right here. Okay, so it starts to spread out like that. Do we want to try our container method again?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so just a reminder for that, I'm adding another cylinder, turning off the caps on it, adding a simulation tag collider. And that means that, so look at this. As a collider, it interacts with the pyro, which is really cool. So I can
I have a stupid question.
There are no stupid questions.
All of it.
Han doesn't think so. What happens if you make your cylinder container, you emit a bunch of pyro from a tiny part at the bottom of the cylinder, and you just blow air up through it or a force upward and let it and be spinning inside. Like what happens if you're basically treating it like it's a particle emitter, the single point emitter, and then you're just directing all of it up through the tube?
Interesting. Okay. So let's try that. So my invisible cylinder is up here above it. I just have the teeny emitter down here at the bottom. And there are a couple of ways that we could try to have the wind end up here. Let's try this helix pattern because I really kind of want to try getting that to do something. I'm going to create a helix spline. We're going to have it go up and down. We'll have the radius start small and get a little bit wider and go straight up like that. And I'm going to add a lot of angle to it like that. And then we'll go to this field force and we'll also drag the helix in here to add to it. So hopefully what this helix should do is it's supposed to add to the velocity. Maybe it's not enough yet. We turn this up more. Does that start to draw it upward?
Put the helix up above that field list.
Wait, say that one more time?
He said put the helix above.
Can you put the helix above the radial in the field list?
Oh, yes. Helix first. In fact, I'll uncheck the radial field for a second and just use the helix pattern because earlier we were getting a good like draw upward from the helix pattern. Okay, we're starting to now. So what if we turn this up? If we go to the field force and we say strength is even higher. There we go.
Okay.
Seth.
Okay.
Oh, that was a good idea.
Well, because this is what happens. This is what a tornado is doing in real life.
It is. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm keeping the cylinder above the ground because I like that there's a bit of mist that can escape there. Seth.
Okay.
Now, do you need to move your field force box up so some of it, not all of it's under the ground?
Field force.
Yes. Okay. This is interesting. And now I want to go to the field force helix and I'm going to turn the range offset to go down a bit. Actually, should turn on my field force so I can see it again. And I'm just going to move this preview box.
Oh, damn.
Remember this.
Oh, damn.
Field force box is not the actual force. It's just the previewer of of the forces themselves. So if I go to the settings of the helix inside of it,
it's starting to happen.
If I offset, it's going to. Okay. What's weird is that I feel like it should actually have maybe more. Okay, how do we do this? Is it for the whole? If I say for the whole spline, I want the opposite of this. I want it to be wide at the bottom of the helix and then start to get small starting from the top. So it's spinning really fast at the ground. I mean, I guess I could just do this. Oh, no. Okay.
Is that something you do in the helix, or is that just
what
something
if
you
the-
do with like air
Oh,
resistance?
maybe
or
if the
something?
helix had fewer rotations, it makes the spring longer and point upward more. Makes some of these vectors point up more.
I think you have a lot of scaping.
I think you're right. So let's go to, let me hide this for just a moment. And whoops, what have I done? I want this back wherever it was before. Okay, here we go. So it's trying to draw it upward through this. We'll move the cylinder down a little bit more so less can escape, and I'll go to the output here, and I will say I'm going to turn down the dissipation amount.
Yeah. So it lives longer.
Let's turn down to 2 so it'll last longer.
Holy hell. Okay, so is it sticking to the
Okay,
cylinder?
it was
or
really
what's
trying.
happening?
Let me see what happens. Let me see what happens if the cylinder wasn't there at all. If there were no cylinder, I mean, that's super cool. Wait, was that it? Like, oh gosh, there were some moments in that were awesome.
I mean, that's really close.
Okay, we'll call this field force A.
I wish the drop would add an A.
Man, gosh, I feel like we're close.
So this is looking like the fire tornado in Twisters because it's acting like fire. So if there's a way that we can make this dust, to make this feel dustier and less wispy, I don't know what that solution is, but I know that we're really close here.
We are close. I mean, it's trying
a really
to.
good solution to this would be to use this as an invisible force and just use a bajillion tiny particles. Because remember, particles in footy can be affected by pyrosins.
That is true.
Actually, how much smoke is coming out of your computer right now on a
could be
scale of
playing in the
one?
future. What happens if it were wider at the bottom and narrow at the top? Would that do anything? Clearly not. No. Okay, so that doesn't work. But if it's small at the beginning, so it's trying to draw it up first and then into a spin. Oh, what if the height bias was this? So it's drawing it up first and then starts spinning it more.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, we'll try this. It's going, it's getting created, and then it starts spinning up here. Oop, not quite enough.
No, I think we definitely still need that spin at the bottom.
What if, let's see, where is our cylinder? Let's just give it more to begin with. Down below the ground there. I'll set my pyro output object? No, right? Okay, we're getting something interesting here. I'm going to
100%.
Hide the helix here.
I think you definitely need that
want
spin
to-
at the bottom.
oh,
Is your
yeah.
helix still favoring spin at the top?
Yes, it is. Let me turn that back to, I assume 50 is default. Actually, what if
Yeah,
it were
'cause
the
look at
opposite?
that.
What if it were a lot of spin at the bottom and then starts drawing it up? Okay, how about 25%? Let's see what 25% does. Okay, how about 50%? Right back where we were.
I think 50 right now gives us the best, the closest.
It does.
result.
What if the cylinder were on again? Let me see. I don't remember. Oh, wait, how small? Is the cylinder too small? Okay, what if the cylinder were bigger like this? now it's trying to sort of just trap the bottom section of it a little bit. What if on this cylinder, what if we could add a little deformer to make it more like a, what am I looking for? I want a bulge on this cylinder to be a negative strength, kind of like that. I guess I should make the cylinder visible for a moment.
Okay. I want to talk about Nick's comment. So, Nick, said, what if you just crank up the suck zone? Now, I need to turn off that real quick if I'm going to. So, my company, I have a company called Plot Devices that makes tools for filmmakers and writers and storytellers. And we did a partnership with this amazing company called Superyaki, which makes really fun movie and cinema related merch. And we did we made a series of products that had quotes on them that weren't necessarily writing related, but could be. And one of those products was a hat that says the suck zone. And the problem with a
it
hat
became
that
this
says the suck
runaway
zone.
bestseller.
The problem is, if you go to Home Depot wearing a hat that says the suck zone, not everybody understands that it's a Twister reference, and you just look like a creep. And that's what happens with this hat. So I was very sad that I can't wear this anywhere because, except on my favorite show, VFX and Chill. Now I'm going to add the suck zone back to the list. Anyway. They might still have some. Go to plotdevices.co and buy yourself some.
Do it.
Saxophone Dude, this is actually live.
This is. With a maybe 20 or 30 second delay, something like that.
It's like a 30-minute delay or something, I feel like.
It feels extra long today, doesn't it?
How does that... Okay, going to add that to the list. Extra long.
Add to the list. All right, so just because we've got about 20 minutes left, I feel like this is a pretty interesting shape we've got going here. I have a sphere over here that's just sitting calmly, just biding its time, because I was considering going over to the sphere and telling it that it should be allowed to have a pyro fuel tag on it. And what a pyro fuel tag could do is I can say an amount of fuel that it's going to add to this situation. And let's just see what would happen if there were a tornado up here, and for whatever reason, a fuel source happened to get near the bottom of it.
Don't you have fuel turned off, or you have a?
Oh, I have it turned down too low.
Yeah. No, I mean on your tornado, don't you? Oh, I see.
Oh yes. No, you're right. This does need to have the temperature on, but not. All right, here we go. So we have our tornado going, and I have a fuel source. Now that there's a bit of flammableness in the tornado, if I bring this over, let's see.
There it is.
Oh.
That's that.
Oh boy.
You might.
Oh, that was a tremendous amount of fuel. How about I go to this fuel settings and say that it is, instead of infinite fuel, let's say that it is contingent. The initial contingent will be 4, and the burning rate will be 10. I think that means that as this starts up, if this fuel source came toward the bottom of it, it will ignite for a moment. Okay, that was eaten up too quickly, so the initial contingent needs to be higher.
Hey, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
get out of here. Let's go. Go. Yeah, that's right. You better run. She's our friend and she's crazy.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us,
Welcome.
where'd Hashi go? I don't see him anywhere.
Oh,
your face is
I
going.
feel like I'm here. I'm in the call.
It's showing your clock. Oh, Skype is going crazy for me. Hang on.
It's unusual. Do I need to I could turn off my camera and turn it back on?
No, there you are. You're back.
Hey, I'm back. We are playing around with this simulation where we're trying to get a tornado shape, and then my hopeful goal is to be able to add a fuel source to the bottom of it and see that fuel source become some kind of cool fire within it. So I'm going to go to the maybe to its fuel settings.
Much like the Fire NATO from Twisters. Which, by the way, it looks like it is absolutely emitting from like a spline or something.
Emitting from a spline, eh?
And look at that.
It does. That's a lot like that cool scene in Backdraft where there's that chemical fire that does that cool thing. And if you ever went to Universal, like between 1990 and 2001, you got to see the live demo of that. Okay, this is adding fuel to the mix, but maybe not enough. Let's go to their fuel settings.
Satria, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing your name, but I totally agree. We should always be playing Humans Being from Van Halen. Went to see Twisters with my old pal, with a bunch of old pals. One of which was my friend Neil Hoppy, who produced a bunch of the Red Giant shorts and makes several appearances in the Red Giant shorts as well. Neil kept turning to me anytime there'd be a song playing in the movie, and he'd be like, "This isn't Van Halen," or "Is this Van Halen?" Because notably, Twisters makes a choice which I actually a smart choice that I totally get, to go all country, because that's era appropriate. Era and location geo appropriate. That said, I did miss Van Halen. There should have been at least one Humans Being drop. Humans Being drop? That sounds gross. Anyway.
Whoa.
Nick's right. This demo took a while because first we had to get a minor in meteorology to understand how fire NATOs really work. They teach you that like
really
year
did.
4.
Man, that... I mean, that was not a fire NATO, but this would be a very good end of days style sim. Look at this.
We're always trying to imitate the Arnold Schwarzenegger film End of Days. Do you remember that came out?
If you're not, what are you doing with your life?
That came out on June 6th, 1996, I think. It was like 666. No, 1999. They turned them upside down, didn't they?
Oh, clever.
Yeah.
I mean, not for nothing. This is a crazy thing to be able to see inside the Cinema 4D viewport.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking cool. If you just spin that a little more, I feel like it's...
Yeah, what if, we could turn our radial field back on.
I'm starting to wonder if the trick is just shooting the pyro. Like what you do, the pyro emitter at the bottom, and then you just shoot it upward, cache it, and then twist it in the D form.
Honestly, that might be a really great way to do it. Let's get rid of the fire for now, and we'll just take a look at what this looks like.
Striking the fire.
Let me turn the radial field off, because you do too much. What if I turned the radial field down to a lower amount, though?
This gets so tornado-y at a certain point, and then it starts to kind of fall apart. But it's so close.
It is so close. It's almost
Why
there.
do we have to cut these things so damn close?
It's Glenn Close.
Close. Glenn Close.
Is that from something, or are we just saying it a lot?
I think that I do think it comes up a surprising amount in our own conversation, Seth. But
We do. It's a lot like Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark, where one person will say close and the other will say Glenn Close. Almost like Glenn is the next level beyond so.
Glenn Powell.
This thing is so Powell.
Powell.
It's Glenn Powell. All right, I'm writing that on the list.
So what happened? What's happening here? Is that the end of the helix? Maybe. No.
Or the end of days.
Weird. What is happening? Why?
Yeah, why is it getting stuck? Just keep going.
That's
man.
what I want to know. It's trying. I mean, not for nothing. Like every one of these sims was a really cool thing to
Are
happen.
we just not blasting it upward fast enough? Or hard enough?
It's possible. See, what I'm worried about is that if it goes up too fast, it starts to look. It kind of falls apart structurally and starts to look too much like smoke to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what if
it's stopping where the helix is?
So what if the helix's height goes higher?
Can you take the helix higher?
Okay, it's trying that. And what if we went to the pyro output and we said,
okay.
Have your buoyancy back. Have your upward smoky lilt back. So now it's definitely trying to mostly move up. And now maybe we could turn the rotation or the helix amount up a little bit. Let's try that. Let's try turning it up.
You're turning amount or the...
That might be going up too fast.
What about the speed count? Like the twist count.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Do you want to lessen it or add more to it?
Add more. I want to see what happens if you add more.
Okay, let's see here. So now it's trying to add a little bit more sideways. And the smoke is doing the upward movement, but it's flinging stuff more sideways.
Okay.
Okay, so, but what if we could? What if we could?
Now, keep in mind, you can bias the twirl to look on the, like that.
Bias the twirl. Damn it, you genius.
I mean, this is getting pretty cool. Okay, what's that? Oh, we're losing. Wait, come back. Interesting. My goodness, I know that I can't believe that we are nearly through this first episode of our 5th season.
I know, 8 minutes.
Let's see. Did we already try increasing the helix radius and dialing up the rotation strength? We kind of did. We were trying to see what would happen if the start radius, were wider, end radius were wider. I think that the way that, oh great, this is going to perfectly work, does not make it comically big enough. Oh no, it was just what was left over. Okay, what if it gets ridiculously wide and we do this with the, try to draw it up first and then it starts spinning. Okay, too much. I don't know if there is a property of pyro specifically that would make it more like similar to the flocking in the particle simulations. One fun thing about all this is that we could, in the midst of all this, have a basic particle emitter somewhere down here. Look at this. As soon as I add a particle emitter, it starts
looking
like
tornado.
Dorothy sending all of these things right up into it.
Yeah, that's the Dorothy sensors. They
Now
censor
keep
Dorothy.
in mind that these particles are just following field force, not the pyro forces at the moment.
Correct. But one thing that you could be doing with the particle emitter is adding, having it create a bunch of little geometry that are set to interact with the pyro. So I'm saying there's a chance.
That's what you're telling me.
Okay, here we go. Cool.
We have 6 minutes left until
That's
the
kind
show.
of 6 minutes left. Goodness. Well, okay, the particles are a whole other thing. I feel like I should spend some of the week messing with more of something like this. Let's
Wait,
take
spend the
this
5 minutes.
version and
Spend the
say,
5 minutes on it. I think. Let's do that because I'm gonna
say
wrap,
it. Go for it.
something. What?
All right, I'm going to grab this pyro output and I'm going to cache it. Let's see,
Cache
let's
it.
go ahead and cache this right here. Cache enabled, and let's cache the scene real quick. It's going to create a little VDB at, VDB. Going to look a little different here for just a moment. Actually, look at that. I feel like we got close to something special here.
Len close.
Amazing. So now we have this baked simulation, so we can all that. And then if we wanted to, we could take this pyro output object and watch this. Put let's see. Wait, how does it want us to do that? Does it want it to be in a group with it, or does it want it to be under it? Oopsie. No. All right, delete all this stuff. I just want my cached pyro object up here. The cached pyro, and then I want to why is that trying to show me the field here? I don't want to see the field. Why is it doing this to me? Save. Okay. Can I import that? VDB sequence into here. Okay, so we have this. Now, I believe that supposedly we can modify it. That's all I want to do before we go is, I thought that if you had this, you could put a twist property in it and it would twist it. Why am I, what am I not doing or doing that I'm supposed to?
I don't know. Michael doesn't know that.
Filter, geometry only. Yeah, why are you showing me this craziness? Same deal there. if I... Interesting. Michael, do you have any idea?
Just as there is a tip, a quick tip. Link is in the chat to a quick tip, a video on how to up-res your pyro simulation. I did not yet pull in the quick tip for how to bend your pyro simulation.
I have used the up-res, and it's a very cool function. Is this the Noseman one? It's a great tip. What I'm curious about right now is I thought that if you had cached a simulation like this, you could distort it. And this might be trying to distort it. I just don't know why I need to see all of this stuff here. Object. Oh, it's a checkbox for the velocity that it's showing me. Okay, angle. Oh, man. I'm going to have to do some research, everybody, because I absolutely want to be able to show people what this actual thing is. Filter, I'm going to turn off the geometry only one. Because I thought you could twist this whole thing, and I don't know why right now I seem to not be able to. Twist, unlimited. That's the fourth
Twist Unlimited.
Well, see, we brought it back.
We did it.
Goodness. I know that on our Super Bowl episode, we were going to try to add more dangerous twisters to The Wizard of Oz. Maybe that's where we're going to need to go with this next. But where we go next depends a lot on you all right there. So thank you very much for coming to our new channel for this crazy, exciting episode of Season 5. You will notice on our web page, our YouTube channel right there, that there is an amazing thing called the suggestion box. I should probably be sharing it or something like that. You know what? Watch our What to Expect explainer video, and you'll be able to see what cool things you can do. You can submit questions, shots that you want to see us take on, or anything like that. And the more audience participation, the better. The more silly and fun things that we will get to make and do. Reminder right at the end, if you're watching this on a channel other than the VFX and Chill channel, I urge you with all my heart and soul, go find the VFX and Chill YouTube channel. It should be easy to find, and subscribe to it. That would make us very, very happy.
Hashi, we got really close today.
We way closer than we have before.
And I think that is something to be commended. The important thing to remember is that the bad boys of VFX are back. We love you all, and we will see you next week right here on the VFX. See you guys.